Something so simple is so profound that I had to absolutely do this video for you. This is not just any theory. This is not speculation. This is pure experience. And all you ever need to do then is go into the techniques when you need to bring yourself into alignment. So today, if there was ever an important video, I believe this would be it. Neville Goddard calls this the first principle. Imagine having a magic phrase that could transform your life, instantly manifesting your deepest desires. This is not just about a technique. This is about a state of being. Neville Goddard was a profound mystic and teacher, and he believed that this phrase could be the most powerful manifestation catalyst. I won't call it a tool because tools do not achieve this kind of a transformation when we are talking about the state of beingness, when we are talking about the ability to control creation. Actually, this is a foundational piece to one's self-mastery. This might be the best and lasting way to actually realize our inner power. And as Neville says, you can never fail with this because with this, all is divinely possible. And as I apply and study the law and Neville's teachings, and recently having completed the law and the promise, this has become glaringly obvious that it should be the first place that everyone actually looks to in order to master manifestation. Welcome to the Inner Work Mastery channel. My name is Fazila Bizior. On this channel, I help decode Neville Goddard's teachings so that you can master and apply these teachings for your life. Are you aware that you're aware? What does awareness feel like? Who watches and sees these thoughts that go through your mind? Who observes the feelings that you have about these thoughts? What awareness do you have about this? The question that many ponder on, if I am the one having these thoughts, who is the one watching these thoughts? That's what we want to delve into today. I want to empower you with awareness and knowledge that you turn into wisdom by applying these teachings. Something so simple is so profound that I had to absolutely do this video for you so that you could understand that even though you have heard this before, you can now know the why and the how to apply it. What if I told you that phrase that I spoke about? The first principle is I am. When we say I am, we are declaring our being, our existence, and our identity. In this video, we're going to delve into the power of the I am meditation and how to first use it to elevate your state of being and your state of consciousness, and how Neville recommended that you use this for manifestation. This video is going to be talking about meditation on I am for this foundational piece of self-mastery. I am is first about expanding your awareness, becoming mindless, becoming formless. And actually, it does lead to having out-of-body experiences. But this must be something that is practiced. Yes, initially, it must be practiced. I want to use a very practical example to bring this home. Yesterday, my husband and I were out at a night market, and we were at a food vendor and decided to go with a health juice. The vendor who was helping us took one look at my husband and he said to him, I don't actually see you buying anything else except a health juice because you look like you work out. Are you one of those people? And my husband said, no, he enjoys working out and he'll make the choice for what he feels he is led to at the time, for what his body requires. My husband works out regularly. In fact, for the past 15 years, he has transformed his body, but his self-concept is what led in terms of his transformation. And so my husband made a comment to me and he said, it reminds him that it took 15 years for him to actually have the results on a consistent basis right now. And he said, not many people want to do the work. They want to have the end result, but they don't want to have to put in the work. This work required the alignment in terms of his desires, his self-concept, to see himself as the person who works out, to commit to, at first in the beginning, he had to work out consistently. And so if there are days, and there have certainly been times when he's lapsed in his training schedule, last year, for example, when he had an ankle fracture. He didn't work out for 6 months. So there was a change in his body. But the moment he started back into his routine of eating clean, eating well, exercising, and having the outlook that he loves exercising, he loves working out, he's come back into this form and shape even quicker. And so the reason I share this story is because I want to tell you that many people are chasing after manifestation tools. And your manifestation tools are going to give you kind of short-term practice. When I looked at what I am does, when you shift your inner state of being, when you elevate your consciousness, expand your consciousness, this is the permanent state. This is when you make the shift into experiencing the formless and the mindless state of being. You don't rely on tools and manifestation techniques solely. Your state of being leads the shift. Yes, you can go into sats and you can bring in your desires, but I am, and whatever your desire is, defines it and declares it and leads it. And all you ever need to do then is go into the techniques when you need to bring yourself into alignment. So today, if there was ever an important video, I believe this would be it. For you to actually realize, rather than chasing along for manifestation results, start with this. Wherever you are in your journey, dedicate the time. Start with 5 minutes. I'm going to talk you through what you do in terms of this meditation. Commit to 5 minutes a day. I'm doing that consistently as of today because I have done the I am meditations. I know what the effect and the power of be still and know that I am God is. But now I'm fully committing. You'll see this when you see this video. I want you to also put down below if you're committing to dedicating 5 minutes every day to do the I am meditation, and we'll talk about what the timing is and when you can do this and what it will achieve. So back to I am. Why I'm actually saying this has got to be one of the most important videos that you should watch and apply and practice around. I am is the first place from which you expand your awareness. To be mindless and to be formless is to be without definition. And Neville talks about having the floating sensation. This is what is going to help you move into that state. And so I'm glad that in a sense, it hasn't been consistent for me. I've practiced many of the processes and the techniques, etc. But the state of being is now far more important. With today's practice, we're going to be looking at what Neville recommends in terms of you becoming mindless, formless, when you are no longer defined by form and you're no longer defined by your mind. You become one with everything. You become one with God and one with creation. So from Neville's book, At Your Command, some very important points. When you go into this meditation and you meditate on I am, you are going to just dwell on saying, I am, I am, I am. You dwell upon just being by saying, I am, I am, I am to yourself. You continue to declare to yourself that you just are. Now, Neville says, do not condition this declaration. Just continue to feel yourself to be. And he says, without warning, you will find yourself slipping the anchor that tied you to the shallow of your problems, and you move out into the deep. Now, in the shallows, so if you were to go fishing, you would not find many fish in the shallows. And this is what Neville is saying, is when you go out, if you were to go out deep sea dive in deep sea fishing, you're going to find a lot more fish and bigger varieties as well than you would in the shallows. And so here, in just the state of being and feeling I am, you push off, you are going to be leaving the shores of the shallow spaces of your mind, and you move out into the deep. When you are able to move out into the deep, you are usually accompanied with the feeling of expansion. You will feel yourself expand as though you were actually growing. And he says, do not be afraid. Your courage is necessary. Now, he says, you're not going to die to anything but your former limitations. So everything that is the old is what you die to, because your expansion now comes into place, your expansion to the level of God. So you are not going to die to anything but your former limitations, but they are going to die as you move away from them, for they live only in your consciousness. In this deep and expanded consciousness, you will find yourself to be a power that you had never dreamt of before. And Neville says, what you believe yourself to be is what you will become. The kingdom of God is within you. And what this means is all of creation, your I am is within you. So you already possess this. Now you must become conscious of being it. So when you use the words I am, it is the declaration of who you are and what you are that is real. Neville says this is a power, a sheer power. And it's in a way that no one knows how this assumption arranges the entire structure of their world, and it mirrors a fulfillment of their assumption. To give you a bit more structure, this is what Neville talks about. So tonight, you take this wonderful name and you try it. It won't fail you. I promise you, it won't fail you. You use just the words, I am. He says, forget what you've done in this world. Forget what people think that you are. Forget all the little tags people put upon you. A very important point here. This is what Neville refers to as our self-concept. And in terms of what we carry about, in terms of how we see ourselves based on our actions, what we think people think we are, and what labels or tags people have put on us. He says, forget about all of that. Do take off everything and you simply dwell on I am. So all the labels, all the definitions, all the judgments, this is what it means to be mindless and formless. You do not take on any of that. You simply dwell on I am. He says, repeat it quietly without any audible sound. So you just use the words, so you just repeat I am. And you keep bringing yourself back. If in the beginning, it can be a challenge where your mind is going off to other thoughts, etc., you just simply come back and you focus on I am. Neville says, you will be amazed what happens with just I am. He says, in that I amness, when you clothe it with your wish fulfilled, your assumption hardens into fact. Now he says, just try it. I'm telling you what I have experienced. So start out with just I am. Maybe do 5 minutes of focusing on I am. Maybe start out with 5 minutes of just the words I am in the morning. And you can actually use I am for manifestation, which means that when you go into sats, you focus on I am. And as you get into the drowsy state, you will then declare what it is you wish to manifest. I will revisit that as a separate video, but I want to bring this into your awareness that starting out with just focusing on I am, you start out with 5 minutes a day. Maybe start out with 5 minutes in the first week, and then you build that to 7 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever that might be. Just keep going into the state of I am. Neville says this is not just any theory. This is not speculation. This is pure experience. It comes in a way that is an ultimate bliss. Now, he has spoken about the promise, and he said he cannot explain the promise. It is something that you must experience. And so too with I am, he says, I cannot tell anyone in words what it is to reach a state where there is no one but I am. Because you are the infinite being, pulsing liquid light. And that's what Neville experienced. is at that level of expansion. As he connected and he became I am, he had no mind, he had no form. He says, then there is no world, no people, nothing, just I am. And it's a state beyond anything that anyone else could describe to you in words. And so you and I, separate as we are seemingly, in that state, we are one. And that is what I am gives you, is when you are in that state where you are one with everything, that when you now have mastered this space of, when you have now got this foundational piece of self-mastery, that focusing on I am, experiencing the expansion, when you manifest, when you want to achieve your dreams and your desires, then it comes from that state of expansion. The Father's will is always, so remember, the Father's will is always I am. When you realize that you are the Father, there is only one I am, and your infinite self is that I am. So therefore, I am that I am that I am is you are God. You are the I am that I am. You are consciousness. You are the creator. Because I promised that in my previous videos, I've spoken about the following: be still and know that I am God. How I use this is when I have a misalignment between what I've desired and what my 3D is showing me. Because remember, 3D is giving you data. When the evidence of my senses say, oh, this is not happening, or that's going wrong, I drop into the space and I remind myself, it is a remembrance. Be still and know that I am God. I am creates. My consciousness creates. So now what am I to do? I am to stay in the space of expansion, in the space of awareness, in the space of non-definition, at least away from the problem, so that the solution may appear. And when something comes up as inspired action for me, whether it is me going onto a listing of properties, which is what I did, I followed my intuition, I followed the awareness that said at the time that we thought it was difficult to find a new rental, etc. I dropped into the space. And there were a couple of days when I would get this feeling, go look at the listings. And the one particular listing that I sent to my husband, I told him, this fits all our, this looks like it ticks all our criteria. It feels good. Maybe go check it out. My husband contacted the rental agent. She then said to him, there are 2 applications in. Should anything change, I will let you know. I just kept dropping into the space of, I know that there is a property available for us, the one that will be ideal and the one that will meet our requirements. A week later, the rental agent called my husband and said, are you still interested? Because those 2 applications did not go through. And I couldn't make that day of the viewing. And so my husband went off to go and look at it. And I said to him, I know that the perfect place is available. Go ahead and take a look. And when he got back, he said to me, this looks pretty good. It's all looking it's all looking positive. We did the application and we got the perfect place. And should you ever have any doubts or conflicts, or 3D is showing you evidence of something that is in the opposite of what you're wanting to manifest, drop into this. I am is powerful. So I want to remind you that I may forget who I am. I may forget where I am. I may forget what I am, but I cannot forget that I am. That awareness of being has always been within you. When you do the I am meditation, and that is about forgetting about everything, all the limitations, forgetting about any conditions, etc., that may be prevalent in your life right now. And all you focus on is within your is to repeat, I am within yourself. I would love to hear how this is showing up for you. And so will you join me in the 30 days of I am meditation? I suggest that you start with a 5-minute meditation in the morning, and you do this every day. Initially, the first 5 to 15 minutes are going to be challenging. You may find your mind wandering. You may find that it doesn't feel like anything is happening. But believe me, it is. What I've experienced for myself personally is when there's a shift in consciousness, when there's a shift in terms of your awareness happening, I kind of feel like the energy of the new coming in is penetrating into my subconscious. It actually feels like there are layers that are being shifted. There are things that are being shifted out of my consciousness. And so I encourage you as well to just be in observer mode, be present, even if thoughts come up initially. Practice with firstly doing the meditation. Yes, it is a doing initially. To learn a new skill, we've got to practice. But over time, as you become, as your mind, body, and spirit actually become far more in tune and aligned, I know that these experiences that Neville has been speaking of, I know these experiences that Neville has shared in his books and his teachings are available to us as well. If you want more around the teachings on I Am from the Power of Awareness, chapter 1 and 2, there's a video that I've done, which is remembering who you are. And it is an expansion on Neville's teachings around your awareness and I Am. It's been lovely to share this with you. My name is Fazila Bizior. I invite you to take the inner journey of I Am. Be sure to let me know how this is unfolding for you.